in a world where your job hangs by a thread and thoughts of escape fill your mind, where whiny-ass salesmen look to you for leadership and cynicism rules your dreams, but you have a desire to break free. You feel the need to take control. Now there exists a place where the secrets of sales management are given to those who believe. Help my sales team sucks.com. Free your mind. Welcome to episode number 1, Why Your Sales Team Sucks. Hello, my name is Russell Volt. I'm your host, and I wanted to warn you right off the bat, I'm not a professional public speaker. I'm going to slur my words, I'm going to stutter, I'm going to have long pregnant pauses, I might even drool and spit. But I wanted you to have exactly what I'd want if I was sitting in your seat, and that would be, the straight scoop, no BS on how to double your team's sales in the next 6 to 12 months. Just like I've done, I turned around 8 different companies, about as many, same number as of regional sales teams, and there's some good news and bad news there. The bad news is most sales teams suck. The good news is, it's usually for pretty much the same reasons, and they're almost always fixable. So let's kind of jump into this, but I did also want to tell you that most people come up to me after I tell them that quick story and they say, "Oh, geez, Russell, you must be a great salesman." No, not really. I'm actually a pretty average salesman. What I am is a great sales manager. There's a huge difference. And primarily because I didn't come out of sales. I came out of project management. I was a top producing salesman, sure, but that's because I outworked everybody else, not because I had any natural talents. The really great news for you is you're smarter than me, taller than me, better looking than me, and probably you know your product a whole lot better than I ever knew mine. So if I can do it, you can do it. Unless you're an idiot or a jerk, you should be able to double your sales in the next 6 to 12 months. Let's take a look at a couple of reasons why your sales teams usually suck. One is you got the wrong sales manager. What often happens is they take the very best salesman and make him a manager. Wrong, bad decision, won't work. I shouldn't say won't work, but very often it does not. And the reason it doesn't is what makes these guys great salesmen makes them lousy managers. How can you teach somebody something that you are absolutely great and awesome at, and it was easy for you? For me, it was difficult. I had to learn every step of the way, and therefore it made me a good teacher. So, the sales manager himself, I'm always looking for, when I'm trying to replace myself, I come into a company, I turn the team around, it takes me 6 to 12 months, and I want to replace myself. Either I'll look inside or I'll look outside, and what I'm looking for is somebody that really understands a team effort, pulling together teams. Salesmen are typically not team players, and you probably already know that. But I create teams that they love, they enjoy coming to work, because you've got an outside salesman, an inside sales rep, often we used to call them MEX. It stands for, I don't remember, but it was somebody that was an expert at the product, sales engineer, if you will, sales assistant. So you got a team of 3 to 4 people there ready to kill for each other. Now, I don't pay commissions. I prefer paying bonuses on the team. So when the team hits certain goals, and each team can be different because their territories are different. But I'm looking for sales managers that have the empathy for management, for training, for coaching, for just mentoring people along the path. And number 2 is typically your salesmen suck. You got the wrong team. More often than not, I'll come in, I'll fire everybody. I hate doing that, but I'll spend the time, the research, and typically it's just a mismatch. It's a mismatch of the kind of personalities, the kind of people selling that particular kind of product. The salespeople I'm looking for are somebody that can build long-term, trusting, there's the key word, trusting relationships. If they can build a trusting relationship, they can be a salesman. I can teach them the small ins and outs on how to be organized, etc. And again, that goes back to the sales manager and his role of getting the most out of his people, not threatening, not cajoling, not motivating. Come on. When was the last time you had somebody trying to motivate you? All you want to do is put your size 9 up their butt. It's just not going to happen. Number 3, you got the worst. Darn, your process, your procedures, your tools suck big time. I've seen this over and over again. And the reason is, salespeople aren't all that organized. You know, I came out as a project manager. I was a process freak. If I did something 3 times, it's time to put it in a process. Same with sales. But you got to understand, you're dealing with salesmen. Salesmen have the attention span of a gnat. Therefore, the best thing that you can do is have process, procedures, and tools that are simple, fast, and efficient. A salesman, you know, his job is to get his butt out the door and go meet people face to face. And if he's sitting in the office doing paperwork and everything else but selling, no wonder your sales team sucks. I'm looking for guys that love people to get their butt out the door, and I got to have processes and tools and procedures that's going to help that. Now, most of you have heard of sales automation tools, CRM, customer relations management tools, which are great. They're good tools, but 90% of them suck. They're too complex. A salesman, let's put it this way. If your spouse who knows nothing about sales can do it, that's what you want. Your mother, your grandmother, if they can use that tool, that's how simple you need it for a salesman. Lastly, I hear people all the time when I come into organizations, they'll say, but Russell, you know, my product sucks, it's too expensive, and you know, my competition's just kicking my butt, something terrible. What we have here is an attitude problem. It's negative. Most sales organizations I've run into are negative, negative, negative. Man, that is a cancer. Cut it out. Repeat after me. Okay, ready? Repeat after me. You're fired. That's it. Simple. Done. End of story. I will have zero tolerance for negative people. The most positive people you got in your company are your salesmen. And if they're not, they're the wrong team, or you got the wrong sales manager. These guys, these salesmen are studs. I love salespeople. Salespeople are the Navy SEALs of the business world. You know, they're out there, they're making things happen, they're bleeding. When you're sitting in your fancy-dancy office, sitting there taking phone calls, they're out there bleeding. That's what I love about these guys. You got to make it efficient for them. Talking about efficiency, I tell you, most of you are cheap SOBs, and you're trying to get every last dime out of your sales reps, when instead what you should be doing is sending them out the door and let somebody else do the paperwork. They're doing everything else but sales because they're organizing their business cards, you know, they're keeping the database up to date, you know, they're doing all this stuff that you could pay somebody $10 an hour to do. I mean, let me ask you a question. Do you change the oil on your car yourself? Do you take your garbage down to the dump yourself? Do you empty your septic tank yourself? No. Why not? Because it's stupid. You wouldn't do that. That would be absolutely ridiculous. Because as soon as you start doing that, you've reduced yourself to minimum wage. As soon as you've got a salesman doing paperwork, you've reduced him to minimum wage. Don't do that. Again, I put these teams together, they would kill for each other because they're being paid as a team. And when they do that, I'll tell you, you got a sales engineer, true, but also a sales assistant handling everything else. They're setting the tee down, they're putting the ball up, they're putting the club in the hand of the salesman and say, get him, sick him. And it's an awesome way of doing business, and it has worked 100% of the time for me. Look, I got to run, I'm freezing out here. We're out skiing at 49 degrees north, right outside of Spokane, Washington. The snow conditions are awesome. I'd rather go doing skiing. Well, to tell you the truth, I'd rather talk to you. But I'm going to go ski. You guys have fun. Now, my next blog post, let me tell you about the next two. They're incredible. The next one is basically, what do world-class sales managers do different than you? This is number 2. Number 3 is, how do you play to your strengths and your team's strengths? And it makes a world of difference. Guys, you have a great time. I look forward to getting to know you. Make a comment on the blog post right down below here. That would be incredible, because when you make those comments, I read them, I get back to you. You got questions? You got issues? I want to hear about it. Let's build a relationship. This is a community. It's not one way, my friend. Have a great day. Bye-bye.